If you're dealing with a narcissist, it's likely you've been told to run away as fast as you can. Going no contact has to always be an option, even if the narcissist is someone you are very close to, like your mother or father. It's a difficult decision to make, but if you decide to go no contact, it's important that you understand how the narcissist might react. I went no contact for a brief period of time with my narcissistic mother while I did some self-healing. I experienced many of the same reactions from her as I detail as follows. It helps to know what you might experience as a result of this kind of decision. That way, you can develop the best strategy for dealing with the narcissist's reaction. To really make the no-contact strategy work, you want to have a plan for dealing with each of the following common reactions. Enter the state of denial. Another thing a narcissist will commonly do when you let them know you're going no contact is to simply deny the reality of it. They just don't accept what you're saying. This happened initially with my mother. The first thing she said when I told her was, "No, you're not." When I assured her that I was, she still didn't believe me. In fact, it wasn't until more than a month had passed with no contact that she started to see I was serious about it. When a narcissist is in denial about the fact that you're going no contact, they will try to act as if nothing has changed. That means you're going to have to reiterate that boundary. You have to stay strong in your commitment to this strategy because the narcissist will test it. My mother tried to call me and act as if nothing had happened. I knew I didn't want to go no contact permanently with her, so it was a challenge to maintain that boundary for the time I needed to do so. The narcissist will test your resolve in this way, so you have to be certain this is the path you want to take. If you are, do whatever you can to stop the narcissist from contacting you, particularly if you feel like you might give in if they do. Begin hoovering. The next thing a narcissist will do is something called hoovering. Hoovering is named after the Hoover vacuum because the narcissist, like the vacuum, will try to suck you back into their life. You might remember the early days of your relationship with a narcissist when they were so charming and wonderful. You likely thought you had met someone who was your soulmate. They are really effective at being charming, and it can cause you to wonder if you made the right decision. Don't underestimate their charm. You need to prepare yourself for their hoovering tactics. The best way to do that is to be sure to cut off all possibility of contact with you, but they sometimes find a way to get through. If that happens, just tell them firmly that you don't want to talk to them anymore and hang up or leave. Don't wait for them to finish their sentence or thought, and don't give them the opportunity to try to change your mind. Send gifts. Another thing a narcissist will do when you go no contact is sending gifts to try to elicit a response from you. Our sociocultural norms tell us that we must acknowledge a gift when we get one. The narcissist will use those kinds of values to stay in contact. This is why you will have to ignore those norms in this particular circumstance. They are trying to get you to break off your own rule of no contact, and if you do that, it's their way of getting back in. If you receive a gift from them, simply refuse to accept it or return it. If you don't want to even do that much, simply donate it to the charitable organization of your choice. Don't contact the narcissist to tell them you've done that or that you don't want any more gifts. Any kind of contact will just feed their delusion. The whole idea behind this kind of manipulation is to try to control you. If you let them manipulate you into contacting them, they have exercised control over your behavior. Don't fall for it because it isn't genuine affection or an acknowledgement that they've done anything wrong. Employ flying monkeys. Flying monkeys refer to people the narcissist uses to try to find out what you're up to now. These are mutual friends or friends you got to know when you were around them. The name comes from the flying monkeys in the movie The Wizard of Oz. The Wicked Witch in that movie used flying monkeys to do her bidding, and the narcissist in your life will use them for much the same purpose. They send them out to find out anything they can about how you're doing, what you're doing, and how your life is going since you cut them out of it. Typically, these people will show up in places you've never seen them before, but where the narcissist you left behind might know that you normally go. You don't have to be rude to these people. After all, they might not even realize how the narcissist is trying to use them. Just don't give them any information about how or what you're doing. If they ask how you've been, simply tell them you're doing fine. But unfortunately, you have to run. The less they know, the less the narcissist knows. Stalking and harassment. Narcissists can sometimes become more dangerous than simply being annoying. If they become desperate enough to get back into contact with you, they may resort to stalking and harassment. They could follow you or have their flying monkeys follow you. They might also call your workplace or your home at all hours of the day and night. They can be remarkably persistent in these efforts as well. If this is happening to you, it's important not to ignore the problem. You will want to get a restraining order and follow up with legal remedies if they continue to use these tactics. You should also make your workplace aware of the problem so they know not to allow the narcissist to call you or show up unexpectedly. You might be embarrassed to do this, but if you don't and the narcissist does something violent, you will regret that you didn't take those extra steps. Lie about how the relationship ended. One thing a narcissist with whom you've broken off all contact will likely do is lie about what happened. They can't admit that you stopped contacting them because of their bad behavior. That would destroy the grandiose image they've spent their life creating. They are likely to tell everyone around them, including mutual friends and family, that they ended the relationship, not you. As part of their smear campaign, they will blame you for any problems in the relationship too. What you elect to do about that depends on how much you care about what those people think. If they are someone close to you, they will probably ask you about it and tell you what the narcissist said. You may have even already told them what you were planning to do. That is something you can do to avert the problem. Tell people important to you about your plans to go no contact in advance, so they know it's coming. Make promises to change. It's one thing when someone who is relatively healthy realizes they're doing something wrong and make promises to change. When a narcissist does it, however, it's usually an empty promise. The narcissist can't admit they've done something wrong, so how can they ever promise to change? The answer is they can't. Check out this video for more information on how narcissists react to a failure of any kind. They might promise they will because they are trying to manipulate you, but they have no intention of following through on that promise. Whatever decision you might make, you have to base it on the idea that the narcissist will never change. For a narcissist to truly change, it usually takes years of intense therapy. If they commit to something like that and genuinely follow through, therapy can reduce their narcissistic tendencies. If they only agree to therapy to assuage you, even if they go, they will likely spend the time blaming you for any mistakes they've made. They also have a tendency to lie and even try to gaslight the therapist. It's very difficult to treat someone who feels like they never do anything wrong because they believe they are superior to everyone else. That's ultimately why their promises to change usually fall flat. Finally, when you go no contact with a narcissist, they may react in one or more of these ways. It's important to remember that they will use anything and everything they can against you. They often use your own emotions against you. If they can trigger your old emotional wounds, they will try to use them to manipulate you into doing what they want. To help, I've developed a 5-step roadmap to heal emotional triggers. This free guide gives you step-by-step instructions about how to recognize, diffuse, and even heal your emotional triggers, so a narcissist can't use them against you. If you click on the link below the video, I'll send it directly to your inbox so you can get started today on preventing narcissistic abuse. Thanks for watching.